It's after 5. It's been a crap day. And I need to do 3 videos. So I'm just going to do 3 random videos that are on my feed and look good. This is top 5 unknown, 5 unexplained photo mysteries with you need to hear. What? 5 unexplained photo mysteries with you need to hear. With should be that? I don't know. Let's just get into it. Top 5 unknowns, yes.
For many people, one of the first reactions to seeing something unexplained is to take a photograph. It's hoped that someone else might be able to explain the mysterious image. Many mysterious—
Oh, I want to say this. Last Friday, I was on a job about an hour and a half away. It sucked. And I was on my way back, stopped at a grocery store. I'm on my way back. And you know those videos? I'm sure some of you have seen them. Sorry, my nose itched. Where you see people driving and you see like an airplane or a helicopter that almost seems like it's not moving at all. I saw one. I'm going along and I'm looking at it. Now, I'm not 100% saying it was just frozen in air. But I was going, I looked up and I'm like, what is that? It was just like the light was reflecting off of the metal. And I'm going, and I kind of get around it like this, and it looked like it was kind of moving that way. It wasn't completely not moving, but it wasn't moving at a fast enough rate to make you feel like it was moving. Does that make sense? It was just like, but not this fast at all. And if you're looking at my head and my fingers, you did see that it was slowly moving, but it wasn't moving that fast. But the crazy thing was, when I got past it and I'm looking back, by the time I didn't want to pull over because it was kind of a busy road. When I got past it and I started looking back like that, it looked like it was going this way when I was, just go with me. It wasn't going that fast, but it was going this way, that direction. But when I got past it, it looked like it had turned and was going that way. And I looked, it was shiny. I looked, and then it was just gone. The sun was still up, no clouds in the sky, no reflection of it at all. It just turned and it just disappeared. Not a UFO, looked like a plane, but not a big plane, more like a single engine Cessna. I'm not crazy. I saw it and then it was just gone. Now, it could have just turned and went like the other way out of my view. I don't know, but it was crazy weird. Back to this.
These photos are simply a trick of the eye, but these remain unexplained. Number 5. These mysterious photos might look like something out of a Hollywood movie. In reality, they supposedly capture a strange incident that took place over the skies of Washington, D.C. in 1952. What became known as the Washington UFO incident began shortly before midnight on July 19, 1952. An air traffic controller at Washington National Airport noticed 7 strange blips on his radar screen. He knew these didn't correspond to any known aircraft in the area, and they didn't follow any normal flight pattern. While this alone was alarming enough, the mysterious unidentified objects then began to move over the White House and Capitol building. After checking that the radar wasn't simply malfunctioning, operators at Washington National Airport contacted other air bases to confirm that they were seeing the same thing. Andrews Air Force Base, located 10 miles away, initially said they weren't seeing anything. Then an airman radioed in to report some strange objects in the sky. Over the course of the night, both radar operators at the National Airport and Andrews tracked mysterious objects on their radar screens, while pilots reported strange lights that looked like shooting stars without tails. On one occasion, there was a cluster of unidentified objects that disappeared as 2 jets from Newcastle Air Force Base in Delaware approached the Washington area. But when the jets turned around, the mysterious objects returned. Not only did the UFOs seem to be intelligent, but they also had access to radio traffic. The mysterious objects had disappeared by sunrise, but the strange events of the night captured headlines across the country. Then, the following weekend, the strange blips started again. This time, the incidents started earlier. At 8:15 p.m., a pilot and stewardess aboard the National Airways flight to Washington reported some strange objects above their plane. For the next several hours, the mysterious objects were seen on the radar, by witnesses on the ground, and by pilots in the air. Often, the radar blips corresponded exactly with what witnesses were seeing. When exactly the famous mysterious photos of the Capitol building were taken is unclear.
That's weird.
Yeah, that smells good. Oh, man.
Thanks, man. I know I smell good. Thanks, I appreciate that. That's weird. Over the White House.
Unclear.
It's not exactly open for traffic. I mean, it's restricted airspace.
The photos show a string of unexplained lights hanging in the sky behind the building. These allegedly matched what witnesses saw and were circulating across the country. The Air Force tried to explain away the mysterious radar UFOs as temperature inversions, when a layer of cold air is trapped under a layer of hot air. The lights that people saw were explained away as moisture in the air, causing reflections. Some have pointed out how the lights in the mysterious photo seem to line up with the lights in the building below. But just how perfectly these two phenomena supposedly lined up seemed to be too big of a coincidence for many. Number 4.
I've never heard of that type of, what would you call it? Phenomenon, that's the word.
The moon is possibly one of the most photographed objects in the world, but one photo taken in 1953 is more mysterious than the rest. The photograph was taken by physician Dr. Leon Stewart in November of 1953. Stewart was an amateur astronomer and had just bought a new camera for his telescope. While playing around with the camera, he managed to capture something entirely unexplained. Stewart witnessed what he described as a flare on the surface of the moon. It lasted 8 seconds. Stewart believed he'd witnessed an asteroid hitting the moon. While he watched the event unfold, Stewart took his mysterious photo through the telescope. A bright light can be clearly seen in the almost exact center of the moon. Stewart sent the photographs to the Strolling Astronomer newsletter in 1956.
It looks like something shiny here and here as well. Possibly. But I'm going to say here and here. Well, it's not a straight line. I would say, look, boom, boom, and then this one's slightly off. Boom, boom, and that one's slightly off. Maybe it's a light, some kind of reflection that he's getting in there, because this one, it looks like a smaller, you know, it goes boom, boom, and then slightly not straight. I don't know.
With his story and theory about what had happened. At first, the scientific community dismissed Stewart's theory. They believed it was more likely the flash of a meteor burning up in the Earth's atmosphere. It was only by chance that it appeared to be on the surface of the moon. But experts did inspect the photographic plate that Stewart had used. The speck of light was perfectly round, indicating the light wasn't caused by a reflection or emulsion defect. This also meant that the meteor had to be heading directly toward the camera, but it would have been impossible for the flare to have lasted 8 seconds if that was the case. In 2003, 2 NASA workers believed they identified a crater which may have been caused by the flash that Stewart saw, which is now called the Stewart's event. However, it emerged that the crater had been photographed in the years before the Stewart's event took place. Today, the original photographic plate has been lost, and we're still no closer to explaining what Stewart captured in his mysterious photo. Number 3.
That one's weird.
Some of the strangest, most mysterious photos come from places we never expect them to. That was the case for one family renovating a house in 2022. A man named Paul Stanfield had recently purchased a property in England. Paul and his son Ryan were doing renovation work when they found something hidden beneath the floorboards. The small photo appears to be badly worn. In it, a man, woman, and child stand in front of a Gothic-style church doorway. One half of the door is closed, while the other is open to the dark space inside.
This looks like a person right back here, too. And that looks like a tall man creature.
To Beverly Cropper, the family appears to be wearing clothing from the 1960s, though others online believe the style was older. The image could date to the 50s or even the 40s. The family looks like they're dressed up for a wedding, and the child holds a strange-looking box in his hand. While the image alone was strange enough, closer inspection of the mysterious photo would creep out Beverly and her son. Standing behind the boy in the photo was a second man.
Yeah.
He appears to be partially transparent, with the metalwork on the door visible through his face. He's also considerably taller than either of the adults in the photo. Beverly posted the photo online, hoping to get some answers about the mysterious photo. Posting it online only caused more questions, though.
It's probably like Satan in a suit. Suit Satan.
Some online believed that the shadowy shape in the doorway resembled some ancient monk with his head bowed. Others saw the phantom of a horse's head. A simple explanation for the man in the back of the picture could be a case of double exposure. However, that answer didn't make the photo any less creepy to those that found it. Even a mundane photo can seem creepy when sealed away under floorboards for decades. Despite the photo getting attention from multiple news outlets, the family has never been identified. The family who found the mysterious photo decided that it was best to put it back where they found it.
Yeah, there you go.
Number 2. Stories of the Black-Eyed Children have terrified people around the globe.
Yo, are you still trying to lose weight with exercise?
We're not going to listen to this. I'm just going to get back to the video now. So I'm not
People
tired,
around
but
the
I keep
globe.
yawning.
In some cases, they're believed to be distinct malevolent creatures looking for victims. In other cases, they're simply ordinary ghosts with an especially spooky-looking appearance. It's believed that the Black-Eyed Child of Cannock Chase is the latter. Cannock Chase in Staffordshire, England, is a hub of paranormal activity. A number of
Hey, anyone in England, the UK is my second largest audience. Go there. Film, find the children. And then hope that it doesn't put a curse on you and end up killing you.
ghosts are said to exist within the woods here, as well as other mysterious creatures like the Pigman of Cannock Chase. But the Black-Eyed Children is definitely the most well-known of the mysterious paranormal entities said to be lurking in the area, and one of the creepiest. The sightings of the mysterious figure began in the 1980s. The ghost has a childlike appearance, is extremely pale, and has sunken black eyes. She, or it, doesn't necessarily give off an evil aura, and it isn't known to have hurt anybody. One story of a sighting describes a girl simply staring at the witness before disappearing into thin air. Other stories are slightly more disturbing. During 2021, 2 teens breaking lockdown restrictions to go camping in the woods allegedly saw the Black-Eyed Child. While in their tent, the 2 witnesses heard footsteps. At first, they believed the creature was a deer, but as it got closer, they believed it sounded more human-like. They peeked out of their tent and spotted the girl at a distance. According to the witnesses, she moved in a way that wasn't human, teleporting from tree to tree. For some reason, the teens decided to stay but didn't manage to get any sleep. When the sun rose, they finally left their camping spot. As they left, they saw the girl again and ran to their car while shouting at it to leave them alone. Alone, these stories would be nothing more than the countless pieces of folklore from the UK. But in 2014, the entity was allegedly captured on camera. Christine Hamlet describes herself as a rescue clairvoyant who aims to help spirits in the afterlife. She traveled to Cannock Chase with her husband with the aim of making contact with the entity. Her husband was the one to take the clearest photo of the child, snapping the picture while scanning the area. In the mysterious photo, the entity can be seen dressed in white and appears to be praying. Other photos
Is that what it was? I thought it was doing this.
captured show the spirit peeking out from behind a tree. According to Christine, the ghost is the victim of an epidemic that took place in the 1800s. The illness would have affected the eyes, which led to the extremely creepy appearance of the ghost.
If anyone in England does go out there, take some penicillin with you, just in case. It comes up on you, give it a little shot, cure it. And then, don't be rude and yell at it. Like, be cool, you know, like, hey, what's your name? You want to go somewhere? Don't do that. That is kind of weird.
Number 1. In France in 2004, a mystery 80 years in the making was uncovered. What could have just been a simple administration error was made even more confusing by a mysterious photo taken of 2 women claiming to be the same person. Madeleine Morris was born in 1924 to Albert and Anna Morris in a small village in northeast France. When she was very young, her father abandoned the family, and her mother was forced to put young Madeleine in foster care. Despite this, Madeleine went on to have a normal life. When she grew up, she married a railway worker, and in the 1960s, moved away to Algeria with him. For the next 40 years or so, there were no issues, and Madeleine was apparently happy with life in Africa. But in 2004, the now 80-year-old decided to return home to France. Having been out of the country for so long, she was expecting a long bureaucratic process to help her get government IDs and begin to claim her pension. But that process became even longer when it was uncovered that records showed Madeleine had been claiming her pension for 2 years already. Another woman, claiming to be Madeleine, had spent her life living in France. In 2002, she'd begun claiming her pension, which equated to less than $600 a month. At first, police suspected identity theft. They brought the 2 women together, believing one of them would confess to the crime, when they realized that they'd been found out. The 2 80-year-old women met one another. They looked extremely similar, and even stranger, both had all the necessary paperwork to prove that they were Madeleine Morris.
Wow.
They both had the same birth certificate, identifying them as Madeleine Paul Helene Morris, born to Albert and Anna Morris on the same day. They both had the same story of being abandoned by their father and put into foster care, but neither said that they had a sister. The Madeleine who lived in Algeria had a brother who was confirmed to be part of the Morris family. He gave DNA to be tested against the 2 women, which proved that the woman he had known as his sister all of his life was indeed his sister. At first, it seemed like the second Madeleine had simply been told the wrong story about her past while still a child. And this was simply an error that occurred before computer systems would make this easy to check. But then, Madeleine's brother produced a photo. The mysterious photo had been taken sometime in the 1940s. When exactly, or even where, remains a mystery, but it showed both women who claimed to be Madeleine. Neither Madeleine remembered the picture being taken or meeting someone who claimed to have the same name as them, but both were able to identify themselves in the strange picture. Madeleine's brother also couldn't say when the photo was taken or how his 2 sisters had met one another. Thank you.
That last one is just weird. So how did they get separated to not know each other? Only the BlackEyed Children can tell us. That was good. Not great. Interesting. I'm hungry. So I'm going to end the video here and I'm going to go get some food. I'm wanted for murder, so, you know, like the cops are texting me. You know, come in. I'm like, no. You know, kill 300 people. It's like, come find me. You know what I'm saying? Good thing they don't know about this channel. All right, so I'm going to end it here, and then I'm going to go into hiding for a little bit, aka eat some food, and then come back and make some more videos. So, like and subscribe. Have a good day. Have a good night.